Getting towards this part of the conversation, which is more on the inspirational side, we covered a bit, but we covered the value of Intryc and what you're planning to do. So right now, let's see a bit behind the scene. Let's see what's the team. And I want to ask, how do you serve this bold vision? First of all, let's start with your experience as well. What experience led you to and your team to co-found Intryc? Then I want to ask about how you met with your co-founders, of course.
Yeah, and actually, it's something that I think that I should be writing and speaking more about, and I will. But that's kind of like all I've done over the past 8 to 10 years. I've been supporting customers directly. I've managed big success teams and account management teams. I've handled cases escalations myself over the years. I've helped improve processes. So I've seen the anguish of customers trying to get a simple thing resolved or a more complex thing resolved. I've seen organizations being paralyzed, not being able to understand where the issue comes from and who should address it and how they should fix it permanently. I've worked really hard with great teams, and I think we've all performed heroic actions, always on the name of the customer, to make sure that somebody is not affected by whatever has happened to them during a product experience. Working late nights, truly trying to align people, trying to find data, really trying to understand what was happening. And then I always said, like, what if we had better visibility? What if we could just know where this comes from? What if we could connect the dots, have the patterns, iterate quickly with the product and engineering teams, improve the experiences, give a solution so that the other person at the end of the line, the customer, doesn't anguish and get frustrated and eventually drop the product, or even have a risk issue, that compliance risk issue that could harm our organization. So that was the first inspiration. The second is that my two co-founders, both brilliant technical co-founders, they worked at very early stages at Revolut. And that was, as you know, Revolut is a rocket ship, and they grew really fast to a very big valuation and a huge user base. But with that growth, there is a lot of pains that come. So Dean was heavily involved in building the core banking infrastructure of Revolut, and George was very involved in building the fraud detection and prevention algorithms at Revolut. And they both saw all of these scaling pains. How do we secure transactions? How do we help our operations scale? How do we ensure quality in our operations and preventing fraud in customer communications when we're scaling as an organization like that? So we brought that experience together. We saw the paradigm shift that was happening with AI. We knew that a lot of these admin repetitive tasks are going to be automated eventually with such a technology. And then we immediately decided to take on the market, and we started talking to leaders in the space, understanding the problem, seeing if whatever I had experienced was something that other people experienced, whatever George and Dimi had seen in their operational roles, technical operational roles, it was also experienced by other people. And then when we found customers with that hair on fire problem, like the ones that you mentioned are our customers, and there was a huge market out there, then we decided to fully commit, double down on this. We started building the MVP. We closed our first customers, got into YC, and we're building since then and growing.
That's amazing. And you told me about your co-founders, and whenever we talk, you talk very highly of your team, and that's one of the things that lots of people remember when talking with you. That's really admirable.